Good evening. Once again, this is C-Red's Power Hour featuring Steve in 7K Rion Vision. I am the Steve that's featured. That, of course, is the urban sensation C-Red. 7K right back here. Are you playing Switch?
No, not
He's texting right now. He's got some ladies out there, but that's the charm of the real deal here. And joining us tonight, our very special guest. Back after a bit of a hiatus, the man, the myth, the legend, the CCW general, as it were, Mr. John Bullard. But off the bat tonight, I wasn't expecting him till a little bit later, but here he is nonetheless. It is Damien Satan. How you doing, Damien?
Hey, good. Hey, John, I miss you, buddy. C-Red, how you doing? I miss your beautiful face.
Oh, Saint, I missed you.
And Rion, you sexy son of a bitch. How you doing, brother?
He's
up,
eating.
Okay, well, I see where this is going already. So let's just cut to the chase. Let's cut right to it. Timmy Too Sweet, you tried to kill him in the gym.
I didn't try to kill Timmy Too Sweet. You know, you're just making up wild
You
accusations.
saw the video. The video was seen. It was
What
there.
video are you talking about?
What
Here,
video?
Pull up the video right now. I'm calling you a goddamn liar.
What
All
video?
right, so the video is, now I got to find it. You should be prepared, or maybe I should be prepared. With 6 of one, half a dozen the other, I suppose. The situation was in the gym. Mr. Satan was training, and suddenly, and he was training with a member of the Fabulous Idols.
Satan?
Yes, Satan. Only Satan would do what you do. You can't be called Damien Satan anymore. You've lost that right. You are now Damien Satan until you redeem yourself and prove you are fit for redemption. Oh, he doesn't.
You know what?
It's not a timeout. Just I only hear you calling him Satan.
Oh,
I don't call him
whatever
Satan.
you want.
okay.
John Bullard would never do that because John Bullard is an honorable man, and you haven't.
I'm not honorable.
yet.
I
Am
think
I
it's
not-
honorable, see?
Am I not honorable?
I mean, you are
Apparently not.
when you're
see?
not being incorrigible, you're honorable, but that's a horse of a whole nother color.
You know what? Let's talk about something different right now. Let's talk about IPW. I know I missed IPW. I had a family emergency, but Rion, tell me what happened.
What do you like? What do you want to know?
Everything, man. Give me the details.
Oh,
Championship changes, anything like that.
okay, that's fair because I am the informational liaison over there, so that's fine.
Is that what they're calling it now?
That's what I was told since. I was being funny. I guess that sticks now.
Do you talk to yourself often?
Yeah, it is what it is. So there was a new league champion or an interim league champion because Flash is suspended.
Well, I mean, you get suspended when you don't show up.
Well, hey, I'm just giving you information that was given to me. Flash got suspended. They need a new champion or interim champion. What's his face? What is that guy's name? The Dream Breaker?
Aaron Stone.
Aaron Stone. Yes. He ended up becoming the interim league champion after he lost the junior championship to what is that? Blue Lucha?
I believe he's called El Scorpio Dorado, or
Okay.
I've heard it both ways.
Okay.
I know. I botched it on commentary, that's for sure.
There was a bunch of other stuff like people just fighting and
Yeah,
going
that
down.
usually happens a lot.
But
Wait a
there
minute.
was some wait, what?
I'm waving the Ryan Matthews flag here. Why are you encouraging this man? You're not here.
Hey, he wanted to know what happened.
And they've apparently.
most
You know what? You know what?
thing.
You know what? Hey, here's the thing, guys. Apparently, Steve does not want to talk about IPW. So, John, what's going on with Chicagoland Championship
That's
Wrestling?
what I was going to say. We should probably talk about that more so than anything else. Talking to John.
John?
John froze up.
Hold on, I'm here, guys.
John's tired of the back and forth and the mumbo jumbo that this has turned into.
Agreed.
Well, then be a professional, Steve. Come on.
John, Damien Satan wants to know how things are progressing at CCW. I guess we could start there.
That's what we
Things
should
went
have
pretty well, actually. We're gearing up for our big anniversary return show, titled The Return. Of course, that's going to be on Sunday, October 9th. 2 p.m. bell time, and we have probably one of the best cards. I've been doing promoting since 2012, so this I'll say this on record. This might be the best card I've ever booked.
Wow. And we were there for the first two, and I was wondering how you were going to one up yourself, and apparently you have. You got any sneak previews? I mean, I know we've got a chance to see Uemura, if I'm pronouncing you.
Yeah, from New Japan Pro Wrestling. We're working on doing something special. What makes CCW special is we're going to be giving a lot of open opportunities to the young lions from the New Japan Dojo to come to the Midwest and have a place to wrestle, to gain experience. With Japanese wrestling, of course, they send a lot of their young kids to America for what they call a learning excursion. That's for them to gain more season and more experience with wrestling in front of different crowds. Uemura is a Greco-Roman champion in Japan. Was a standout at the Japanese dojo, was sent to the New Japan LA dojo. The train with Shibata. And what I like about this guy, he reminds me so much of Fujinami and also Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Reminds me a lot of those guys, both of them. He is a solid technical wrestler, and he has the look and he has the ability to be a superstar. And a lot of people are touting him right now with the New Japan, of course, their front office. A lot of people believe he's a future ace in the making. So 2-3 years from now, who knows? We might see him on Wrestle Kingdom being the guy. So, and yeah, we'll do some match announcements today as well. Make this a special Road to October. So you guys probably want to know who Yuya Uemura is facing.
I was actually just about to ask you that, John.
And that would be somebody who I feel like has been showcased very well in tag team wrestling, but he's been winning championships everywhere as a singles wrestler. And that is, of course, the Paisley one himself, Paragon.
Paragon returns.
Yes.
That's very exciting news.
Paragon versus Uemura, in my opinion, is a battle of future aces. That's the way I'm going to build it, and that's the way I believe it, because I look at Paragon as right now he's becoming the guy. Everywhere he's going, he's winning titles. Uemura has been impressing all the veterans in New Japan. Everybody from Okada all the way up to Tanahashi, all of them have spoke highly of him. And so it's a battle of future aces. It's a battle of two guys that have such a bright future ahead of them. And I want to give that match to the fans. In the end, the winner isn't going to be Paragon or Uemura. It's the fans that show up on October 9th.
Wow, that is one. I mean, that's a main event. That's your main event match. Got to be a main event match.
Well, maybe. There's more. But we'll
maybe.
There's
more up your sleeve than that. That's a show-stopping match.
Part of many. The many showstoppers at night. Like I said, been doing this since 2012 as a promoter. Been involved in wrestling since 2001. I've had a privilege of booking people like Alex Zane, Shane Mercer, Adam Pearce, Vader. I've had a privilege of booking a lot of great talent, a lot of legends. I'm going to go on record and say this is going to be the best show at the moment, the best show I've ever booked.
That is a bold statement with your illustrious history being very well documented. We are returning on a Sunday, October the 9th, yes. Moving from a Saturday to a different day of the week. It's going to be an afternoon show, which I have seen some promotions do very successfully. We have a few Lucha promotions out here that run Sunday afternoon that do very well. IPW is gaining a lot of steam, and we had a hell of a show. The man just gets up and leaves. That's typical Damien Satan.
As he should.
Yeah, maybe he's got to get more Jack and Coke. He would have to get that to be more interesting. My point is there's something to be said for Sunday wrestling that has been not many people did it for a long while, but now it's starting to occur and it's starting to draw fans. I think people are happy to get out on a Sunday afternoon. I mean, we had one over Memorial Day weekend and I was like, well, it's Memorial Day weekend. This is a tough sell, but it was the biggest crowd we had to that point, which amazed me, but it was a beautiful day. Doors were open. Everybody was in a great mood. The next day off. I mean, it was perfect. Did stuff like that factor into your mindset, moving it from a Saturday to a Sunday?
Well, I can tell you why I made this decision. If you guys know anything about me, I'm very strategic on every little thing I do. I don't do something just for the sake of just jumping in. The 9 months I was off, I started replanning and refocusing on what I want for Chicago. And I look at how a lot of promotions run on Saturdays. Almost everybody in Chicago runs on Saturdays. And with a lot of Midwest talent, they're working on Saturday nights. There's not a whole lot of American wrestling promotions doing Sundays. CSW is one of the few that does Fridays. So here's a beautiful thing why I wanted to do this. You have someone, let's say Vic Free. Vic works CSW on a Friday. He has a show on a Saturday. He comes work for me on a Sunday. That just now created an entire weekend loop for all wrestling talent. That gives everyone a bonus show to go work. And to me, when I used to be a wrestler, I enjoy the hell out of that because I look at it as like, wow, yeah, I just picked up another booking on a day that you wouldn't think you would have off. But I used to work in a place called Georgetown, Kentucky. That did nothing but Sunday night shows, and I seen that building had 400 people packed easily in this bingo hall because people want to see a wrestling show, and a good one. And I look back at it, my wife and me talked about it, because we respect each other's opinions, And I told her, I said, well, I'm thinking about doing Sunday. And she said, well, what's your factor on it? I said, well, outside of the NFL and a few other sports here and there, nobody's doing anything on a Sunday. Very seldom few. Rion's doing Sundays, was it last Sunday of the month, it looks like, on the calendar so far? And that's great. That works for me too, because say if I do the first week of the month or second week, then it gives guys work for Rion on the last week. And that's how promoters and bookers can work together. So let's say you want to fly a talent in. Okay. I fly in someone, let's say, let's just use another example. And I'm giving you guys a little business 101 here. You bring in someone like Axel Rico, for example. Oh, I'm flying in Axel Rico. He's going to be wrestling for me on a Sunday, but he's coming in on a Friday night. Well, all right, well, CSW can have him on a Friday. And then let's say Rion, or let's say our other good brother, Chris Classic, who runs C3 Wrestling. Hey, Chris, you got a Saturday show coming up? Yeah, good. I got so-and-so coming in town. We can split his flight. And all of a sudden, now you split flights. And it's easier on the promoters, it's easier on the wrestler. And a lot of guys will actually drop their pay a little lower just to work an extra day because it actually is another show to work. It's all about marketing, it's all about promoting, but it's also about working together. A lot of people don't want to do it, but when you find a good group of guys that work together, you win. That's how you win together. It's a simple strategy.
Yeah, it's something that makes a lot of sense. I mean, if you're bringing in a big name and that you need to pay airfare, hotel, and the gate, it's nice to have some help if that you can have this person work a Saturday and a Sunday, and you've got two promotions that are splitting the airfare and the hotel and all of that stuff. We had that a few weeks ago at CSW with Scott Garland. He did a couple of shows on Saturday and Sunday as well as our shows. So the three promotions that had him booked that weekend kind of shared the travel expenses, and it made us able to afford somebody that maybe we wouldn't have gone after without that camaraderie of the other promotions that were involved in the situation. So I've seen the benefit, and you're right on the screws. It's absolutely accurate.
Yeah. I was blessed when I first started promoting. I had two really great promoters and mentors. One is Terry England, who runs UCW out of Kentucky. Terry's been doing this since the 1980s. And Terry took me under his wing, taught me a lot of things that promoters should do, how you advertise properly, how you do fundraisers, how you do charitable events to help out not only the community, but you're also helping yourself too in the public eye. The way you work with the fair board and counties, but also the networking that promoters can do. Let's remember, many years ago, There used to be a company that was well, it's a company now, but it was a body of promotions called the NWA. NWA was a group of promoters that all worked together. When someone was coming in through a region, the regional promoters worked together to bring that guy in, and everyone had a different day working. Well, why not? We can do that today. That's what I've been doing. Those 9 months off wasn't just for me to lay back in a hammock in the backyard and enjoy, a glass of wine, but it was me still putting down the ground level of stuff I want to do, working with Otto over there in Calgary with Can-Am, developing a great friendship with Ileana So from Lucha Arte from Mexico, working with other people that we could develop these little roadmaps, not only for me to bring talent in, but also for me to look at other talent and say, hey, this is a promoter. You want to get in contact with them. They are the friends of mine. Let's work something out where you get a chance to travel. If you want to go to Calgary, you want to go to Mexico, or just another state over. Hey, it's a safe place. I don't want to work with promoters that have bad reputations. When I work with someone, the very first thing I do is a background check. I want to know who they are. Are they notorious for burning people on pay? I don't want to deal with them. If it's someone who treats the boys right, takes care of each other, then make sure they do a professional show, they don't book anyone who's backyard, then great. That's where I want to send my talent. I don't want to send any Miles Mercer and C-Red to a place that is dingy and dangerous and someone gets injured. And it's like, oh, great, now I injured my talent by sending them to this goofball. No, I want them to go to a place where they're safe, they're paid, and they're treated with respect. So that's all about the laying down the foundation of working with all these promoters in different regions, different parts of the world. Let's build back, and I ain't saying bring back the territories, but you could form a little territory working with each other, and you can make it a success. It's all about the people in the higher ups and the power ups working together to make sure the business is done right.
And before the hiatus, I mean, you had it all interconnected. We were talking, via the Johners over in England, which we still have a relationship on this show. We talked with Brittany down at Elevate in New Orleans, a very, very popular promotion that's doing quite well for itself.
I want to correct it. It was the company now did fold.
Oh, it did.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
I'm not trying to talk about her business by no means. I like Brittany. She's a great girl. She moved to Texas, and so she's carrying on her professional career, which I'm all for, because she's a true professional at everything she does. But all the Elevate Pro kids now are working all over the Mid-South, and we'll see some coming up here too in 2023. So I'm looking forward to working with them.
And you had just advertised, the Lucha Connection. Did you mean to hit me?
No,
I thought you were trying to get my
focus. Focus.
I'm sorry, I thought you had something for me. I thought,
no,
Damien.
You're focused, Steve. John's trying to talk. Come on.
We've got a whole hour for John, and John is going to tell us a lot of things, and we're going to enjoy every minute. At this point, I basically had you come here for one reason. I just wanted to ask you why you did what you did. You're just kind of sitting there, you're drinking your beverage. Not that, we don't enjoy having you around. I mean, they enjoy having you around, me not so much. I'm just wondering why. Can you answer that question?
Yeah, I was lifting weights because Damien Gray is my personal body trainer.
Oh, I'm not talking about that. I can't even find the video. You guys probably deleted it. My point is, why did you do what you did? You know what you did. Why? Just answer why. And then you can start to rebuild the fences you torn down.
Well, the kid on the street was running his mouth, so I kicked him off his bike. That's why I did what I did. Come on, Steve. Let's get back to John. John's more important right now with Chicagoland Championship Wrestling. That's the big thing. John, please continue. Don't mind Steve's rudeness.
My apologies, John. Please continue.
Fine. What was your question, Steve?
My question to you.
You don't have a question.
I always have questions, Mr. Red. I always have questions.
And then he pauses. John, earlier you stated you had more little tidbits to drop about October 9th. So you already dropped this great main event match that will be main event anywhere in the country, anywhere in the world, probably. So drop another one.
Another one. Okay, just for you, Red. Just for you.
That's for C-Red.
Since we're talking about in my opinion, a young man that I openly have always said I believed in since the very first day I met him. And the very first time I ever saw him lace up a pair of boots and wrestle. So, talking about interpromotional work, talking about working together with promoters. On October 9th, on a Sunday, Miles Mercer will defend the C3 championship against the debuting Shaq Jordan.
Jackie Bill?
When we did that brutal Bob Evans camp, and Saint, you was there, Shaq blew away so many people just by his performance alone in the ring. Let's be honest. I've always said it best, and Red will back me on this as I've said it openly. Miles has always been that one big match away from people looking at him and go, I want that guy on my show. Let's be honest. He has. He's been killing it everywhere he's gone. For the last 5 years, he's been killing it everywhere he's gone. But he's been proving it now more and more to everyone he used to call him. What was it, King of the Pre-Shows? People used to say back in the days about him.
King of the Pre-Show back in the day when I first started.
But now he's the guy that people know you can invest in him. You could make sure one day he'll be your main event guy. And when I look at him, I see future ace for Chicago. And I believe in him. I also look at Shaq Jordan and think, dear God, this guy has more talent and one pinky finger athletic ability than most people have in their entire body. Why not book two of the absolute best hidden gems, in my opinion, in the city of Chicago for young talent? Then have Shaq Jordan versus Miles Mercer for the C3 championship. Me and Chris Classic had developed a strong brotherhood and bond. And I went to him and say, hey, Chris, I want to do something for you. You've always been there for me when I need you. I want to do something for you in return. So the C3 title will be defended on our show, Shaq versus Miles. And I honestly, I will say this, a lot of the matches, that match could potentially steal the show.
Wow. Just the style of those two is going to be amazing.
Who's going to be in Miles's corner again?
Oh, yeah, the man known as the urban legend. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Assuming you make it there.
Oh, I'll make it.
Don't get choked up now.
Never.
Okay, so those are two. I mean, you said this is the best show you've ever booked in your career. And my God, those two matches are absolute. I mean, it's for a commentator, it's kid in a candy store kind of stuff. To watch Paragon fight against the up and comer from New Japan, Uemura, is going to be amazing in and of itself. But I've had a chance to call a Shaq Jordan match, and I know how amazing he is. And
his living human highlight reel.
As much as I hate to admit this with Red here, all the places I work, I think Miles might be one of the most entertaining athletes that I get to call matches on. And I have some pretty special athletes that I work with. But Miles is something special. I would never say that to his face because he would slap it, but either regardless, it's true. Miles is and that is a match. I mean, if Miles beats Shaq, if you're looking for a match to put on a resume, I bet that will be it. But I think he's past that point. I think he is the real deal. And I think he could go anywhere and work anybody. But my God, what a match that has the potential to be. John, you're a genius. As always, we waited 9 long months to hear stuff like this, and you did not disappoint.
I appreciate that, Steve. I'm a humble guy, though. Genius is the Einsteins and the medical doctors of the world. Me, I'm just a guy who watches wrestling talent and believe in the guys I work with. So I don't say genius, but I'd like to think I'm pretty good at what I do.
I will say that genius can take strange forms in many different ways. To put together a lineup that flows properly and entertains people for 3+ hours is a forgotten art form. A lot of shows you just go and there are just a bunch of matches and there's no rhyme, there's no reason, there's no story. There are a few out there that have incredibly complex subjects going on underneath at all times. And if you miss something, you better get caught up, because the story, it's all about the story. So I like the story that this one's telling already. When we took a break 9 months ago, did you think the duration between our last show on June 12th, was that 2021 or was that 2020?
2021.
2021. So by the time we get to October, we've gone a full calendar year in a few months. Did you think it would be that long when you decided to take the break? Or is this kind of what you thought it would be?
No, exactly the reason why I took that break. It was all for a purpose. There's always a rhyme and reason to everything I do.
Well,
Well,
go ahead.
let me say this. I commend you for doing what you did when you did it. Here's why. A lot of promoters, some folded and just walked away. Some kept their doors open. And I don't know if it was greed or if it was selfish, but you, in the midst of a pandemic, you were smart enough to say, I'm watching the trend, see the numbers are going up, and I have to stop.
Yeah.
You cared about not only the boys, the workers, the referees, the commentators, you cared about the fans.
Absolutely.
Even though when we ran in June, and I gave you your flowers then, and I'll give them to you again. The way you had everybody spaced out, they were in clusters throughout the arena. Again, you did a well thought out plan, but you still didn't want to jeopardize them again.
Right.
So I commend you for that it wasn't about the almighty dollar.
Never has.
It wasn't about, we got to do this because, no. You thought about everybody, you put it on pause, and then I commend you for coming back when you felt it was time to come back.
Yeah.
So I commend you. A lot of people, again, the numbers have went down and the trends are going down, but then they go back up and down. You know what? But when you make the announcement a few weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, I should say, of there was an announcement, and then you came back with the announcement of the date, I got happy. Because again, it wasn't the date that next month we're coming back. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, it was, and just the simple fact you just gave us 2 matches. And the show is in October. Like, I'm ready to go pack my bag right now. Call Miles. Say, come pick me up. We heading to Michigan City. and we gonna wait till October 9th.
Bring a tent and some sleeping bags.
Hey, it's a bunch of hotels out there. Hey,
Maybe a cooler.
Yeah, plenty of them.
Change of drawers at the very least.
And that's the beautiful part. Because if I'm not booked on October 8th, I can head there that day and spend the night in the hotel and then get up and go do the show. I don't have to make that drive that morning. So that's beautiful. No Switch. You didn't tell me we're playing Switch today, sir.
It's not even on. It's not even on.
It's getting ready to say, I will go upstairs and get mine.
Stuff.
I will go get mine.
I'll go get mine.
No, I'm doing other stuff.
Oh, okay. Well, all 3 of us will be on here playing Switch.
I don't do the Switch.
We know.
I'm not even smart enough to do the Fortnite, as has been
Got
evident.
destroyed.
Yeah, was not good. Not a shining moment for me. You can find that on Twitch. Just look up Maximus Orion's page.
Oh man.
And I got destroyed by Ryan Matthews of all people. Don't. It's not. Look at him laughing.
Is that a timeout, Rian?
No, I'm just showing the face. I'm just showing.
Oh,
the face.
just showing the
Bringing
face.
Ryan Matthews home.
Well, while I'm also relaxed a little bit, I feel like maybe I should drop in the spirit of T-Red here. Another match ARC is going to be part of.
Wow, the ARC
Yeah.
full effect on October 9th.
Oh yeah, I mean, hey, they're part of the building of Chicagoland. So
Did you hear that, Steve?
I heard it and I've lived it.
Acknowledge us.
this match has been literally 1 year in the making, and pandemic kind of messed it up. It was supposed to be done at C3 when we were supposed to do the joint show. Unfortunately, COVID-19's was just the biggest pain in the ass that anybody could deal with. Let's be honest, it was. So,
It still is.
still is, yeah. Amen to that. But it's a match that I felt like I wanted to give it time for both men to grow and develop into who they are. Because one, the guy's still a little green, but I think he's been developing. He's been creating himself. I think he's actually found himself, who he is. And that's Jackson P. Larkin versus the UHC champion, The Rock.
Ooh, boy.
Damn.
Wow.
I booked that because I know there's going to be a slugfest that night. That's the match. That's the one it's UHC style rules, as we know. There is none really. You know, there's that 20 count. That's really about it. Referee discretion. But Larkin has been constantly, anytime Ewok talks about a title match, we'll see Larkin make a comment, oh, well, I'm going to get that title match. Oh, remember I was supposed to have it, but John, you know, I did that whole C3 ordeal, COVID-19, you know, me and Chris both didn't see that happen. But it dawned on me when I was creating this card. I was like, you know what? I've been watching Larkin develop. Larkin has been putting on muscle. I don't think I've seen him lately. I know Red has. Larkin's been hitting that gym like a beast, man. He's not the same Jackson P. Larkin we saw at the first show. It is a different.
Still has that
being.
concrete hand, though.
Yeah, man, and a hard head on top of that too. You know, he's not afraid to use every part of his body to get the hell out of it. But that guy has been living in the gym. He's been training nonstop. He has developed a mean streak and a very much a chip on his shoulder. But then again, you look at Ewok. And me and Rion remembers when Ewok was just a baby, just walking in into IPW was one of his first outs from Wrestle League, man. And look where he went from. He went from being the funny, chubby guy who rapped to now he's a lean, mean wrestling machine. He's also his cut weight. He looks $1 million. He lives the gym life. He's been traveling everywhere, developing that name. You know, he's made a
Very hard
brand.
striker.
How many guys do we know, and not just in the Midwest, but in wrestling, they can literally say they made a brand for themselves? Not just, oh, well, you booked me, but no, it's like,
you don't count, Red. You let this man speak.
but
Well,
I mean,
he
the guy
asked.
does, but the guy who does the cinema work that he does with his camera is like a movie when you watch a promo with him. When he does his rap videos, he knows how to get the people into his music, but then he gets people into his wrestling. People will travel from out of state to come see him wrestle. You know, he's developed a marketable brand, believable. So you got two guys that has proven themselves. They've went to the gym. They trained for this. They've built themselves into this. Two guys are trained to become literally weapons of war, to go to battle over that UHC title that a lot of guys have been wanting. I mean, and now let's look at it now so far, the start, shall we? We got Uemura versus Paragon. We got Miles versus Shaq. Now we got Larkin versus Ewok and UHC.
Better eat my Wheaties that night. I'm gonna need the extra energy to
You?
keep up with it.
Did you just hear the two matches that he announced
I did.
that the ARC are involved in?
I have ears. I certainly heard everything Mr. Bullard said.
You be tired as hell. Do you know how much planning and strategy I now have to do?
Well, I'm just wondering if you've got Jackson P. Larkin, a good attorney. I mean, that's what you need. You need someone on retainer.
No, I ain't.
Because if he's
Even though I do have a good attorney, I have a great attorney, actually, but
if Larkin somehow manages to win that UHC championship, I mean, he's going to have to kill a man. So you're going to need an attorney on retainer because Ewok is not getting stripped. He said over his dead body, and I believe him.
Hey, and here's my thought.
Killing in Michigan City.
My thought. He said earlier that the C3 championship might be the show stealer. I don't know. I know Ewok and I know JPL. They're gonna come close to death that night.
That's what I just said.
No, but I'm saying that in the sense that the other match I see being technical, blood, sweat, and tears. You know what I'm saying? This match, I see somebody going into the concession stand, ripping out the sink and bloodying somebody. Somebody taking somebody outside the front door, waiting for somebody to drive down the street and throw them in front of a truck. I mean, I
believe that could happen. I believe that.
See chaos in this match. And on a personal level, I wouldn't want to see that. But on a professional level, totally different. Totally different. And I've got much respect for Ewok, but I got mad love for JPL. So
well,
when I get off here tonight, now I have to go up to the Red Cave and scratch this little ball temple. And how do you plan for somebody like Ewok? That is the problem. That is the problem. So, but 3 matches already announced. These are 3 main events anywhere in this damn country. Anywhere. And that's scary because if those are the 3 matches John announced tonight, and if he announces anything else, that's fine. If he doesn't, that's fine. But can you imagine what he's got in his pocket?
Well, that's just it.
That's the scary part.
That's the scary part because you haven't even talked about Chicagoland Championship Wrestling Heavyweight Champion Shogun Chris Logan. Damien Satan, you know the Shogun pretty well.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
He's a great guy.
Yeah.
Is that why you hit him with a chair?
What are you talking about?
I mean, we all saw that. I'm just
John,
saying.
did you see
Valid
that?
question, right?
I didn't see it.
So, like I was saying, he's announced 3 absolute show-stopping matches and hasn't even talked about the heavyweight title, which, is usually the mystique of a title match is usually the show-grabbing event. We've been grabbed 3 times. Consensually. There's nothing unconsensual going on here.
I was like, what?
I'm consensually grabbed, John.
I
Consensually
just want to
grabbed our wrestling.
Leon, I just want to say that for the fans who are watching. Knowledge is power, sir.
Okay, well, since y'all back on that other business, I'm gonna get back on CCW business.
Please.
John, on a serious note, I have to ask this question.
Of course.
Did you ever find out who was behind the break-in of Steve's house, the break-in of my job? I mean, because whoever these thugs are, like, they put him and his family at risk. They put my students at risk. and I want to know, I know you're a man of value and a man of your word.
Incredible integrity.
So when you said you were going to have an investigation, I'm sure you did what you could, but did you find out anything?
Well, you asked that question. So when I talked to the investigating team there in Illinois, what was going on, they did everything from checking fingerprints, and they even checked for fingerprints on some people that were accused. Let's be honest, people were accusing Paragon of stuff, and I understand why. Steve got put in the trunk of a car. I understand. I'd probably be pissed off too. But the cops did go check the vehicle. They did dust it for fingerprints. You can match the fingerprints on the door. There was none of the guys that were part of the former group known as Tribunal.
So there's somebody else out there that has a grudge against the Power Hour to a certain extent. You had any suspicious activity?
No, I don't know what the heck. Look.
Breon, why are you laughing? This is actually a really serious matter, man.
Oh, you don't understand. No, let me explain something. To both of you. He doesn't give me any information. I just have to figure it out on the way in. I didn't know there was a hit out on the Power Hour. He just said, come on and enjoy the show. It's totally fine. So how do you think I feel when he's like, oh, by the way, this thing happened? What? I'm just
what the hell, Steve? You just right there and you don't.
But you know what? You know what? Now, but Steve, have you noticed something? And John, this question goes to you too.
Of course.
How long has Rion been part of the Power Hour?
Come on now.
There was that picture of Rion and Damien Saint that.
You mean in a wrestling match against Joey Roth that I lost?
Close to the fans.
I'm being serious.
Right.
We haven't heard from this group since Rion has been part of the Power Hour.
What the hell does that mean? What are you talking?
Ask your boy at C-Red, your friend.
All right, then it's me. Then I'll save everybody trouble. It was me.
It
was definitely me. I did it. It was all me. I came in here to go ahead and eat food. This is the only reason I showed up, was to take this man's food and to play Switch and everything else. It was me.
That's fair.
I did it. It was all me. And to drink some of the alcohols that shows up. That was me. I did.
But it wasn't just you. And see, that's the problem. You're saying it's you, but we know it was more than one person.
There are many things, many answers that are going to hopefully be provided as we get closer on the road to now Sunday Grapple Masters. Did I see that you're calling it Sunday Night Fight? What are we? It's not Saturday Night Grapple Masters anymore, John. What's our tagline? What are we calling this thing?
Well, the event's called The Return.
Oh, it's called, okay, that's good.
Very nice.
Sunday Showdown is actually what it's known for.
The Return and Sunday Showdown. I love it. Man, that's great. That makes me feel nostalgic. It when you say that, I think about my childhood when I watched wrestling as a kid. Sunday Showdown. It's got a nice ring to it.
Well, think about it. Sundays was the days that you got like whatever those like after show, the shows that they would tape after they would do Raw and SmackDown. They would tape those shows, and those shows would be seen on Saturday, Shotgun Saturday Night, and then I can't think of the other one. And that would be
Sunday Night Heat.
Sunday Night Heat. So you had wrestling, and in the South, hell, you could turn on your TV. They didn't get, unless it was Texas. You go anywhere from Alabama, Mississippi, Arkansas, there is wrestling at noon on one of those stations. And they competed well with football. If NFL was on, like, it was split. People were turning channels because we didn't have remotes. So you had to turn the channel from football to wrestling. And depending on who was playing, you know, you might wind up watching all the wrestling, you know. So Sundays have for me at least have always been a big staple. You know, it was Charlie Chan, it was Abbott and Costello, it was wrestling on Sundays for me. So this will be
very fondly indeed. You've provided us with these amazing 3 matches, and we've talked about some of the other things from the previous shows. The star power of what you're putting together is incredibly large. And I imagine that just about anybody, if you ask them to work a Sunday showdown at some point, would be overjoyed at the opportunity, because we've all seen the production. We've all seen what we could see on Powered for TV and Amazon Prime. We know the quality. We know the stories. We know the athletes. We know that this is a very impressive production from pillar to post, so to speak. How do you go about keeping your roster, bringing in people, maybe not having people stay? You know, people are very important to you, John. I've known you long enough to know that very well at this point. And locker room chemistry is something that you've hung your hat on as long as I've known you. From the first time I met you in an IPW locker room, and how gracious you were to all the people in there, especially myself, who was a newcomer. I know locker room chemistry is something that you consider of premium importance. How do you go about bringing in the right people? Is there something about a person's character that you're looking for? What makes a CCW superstar to John Bullard?
Well, to take that question, to answer it with fairness, I'll go back to when myself and the late great Christopher Martinez was talking about the idea of starting CCW. And it was our way of keeping Chris' spirit up when he was going through chemotherapy stage 4. So when I made the decision to start the company, I went on literally a 2-year scouting trip. It wasn't just, I want to pick every major league guy in the whole Midwest and have this all-star roster. Don't get me wrong, we got the Vic Capris, the Garrison Creeds, Marches, the Shoguns of the world that are considered by many people like an MVP of any company. But I also have always been a firm believer when I first started promoting, you have to have that young core roster to be there. 5 or 10 years from now, some of the veterans that we idolize, we respect, we look up to, may not be there to wrestle. They may not be there to show up for an event. You know, they just want to be retired and be happy. So you have to focus on the youth. So when I was going to do my scouting, I would go to work shows, and I didn't tell people I was promoting or about to promote, but I wasn't there to steal talent either, but I would go there and I would observe and watch how people interact. How do they handle themselves? Is this someone that I would want to represent myself and my company as much as I would hope they would want me to represent them? Is this someone who's professional? Do they show up on time? Do they help out when they're not even asked to help out, but they would do it? Are they somebody who would, on a dime, give you a great promo without you have to chase them down and ask them for one? And I went around and I watched the talent I wanted. I had a match at IPW with my good friend Louis, who came from California, Louis. And we had this gentleman, Damien Satan, as our referee. And I had 1 or 2 spots that matches that I actually did on purpose, just to see if Damien would catch on to it and go, hey, you shouldn't do that, even though I already knew not to do it. But I did to see, well, I want to see if he would catch it. I watched him before referee, and there's a picture of me sitting in the stands with a baseball cap on, being as camouflage as possible, watching him ref. But I was like, I want to see what he's like to work with. You can see someone referee, that's good. but how they are to be able to be with you in your locker room. And he came back and was giving advice. He would say, next time do this, oh, next time do that. And when I heard that, I was like, yeah, he's one of those guys I want around me. And same thing with being around Red, watching how Red would go out of his way to give almost these little mini seminars about business etiquette or how you can make money on side of wrestling. Where, okay, say if you get a $50 payday, but you should be making more money on this by your merch or by a way of promoting yourself in a higher regard. And some guys would listen and some guys wouldn't. The ones who didn't listen, I didn't want around me. The ones who did listen is the ones who now work for me. And there was a huge difference on that. Listening, being coachable. Having someone walk up to you and say, that wasn't bad, but I think if you do this, this will make it great. That's the most important thing. I have two very close friends who work for World Wrestling Entertainment. One's Adam Pierce, the other one is the referee Jason Ayers. And they both have told me one of the many things that WWE looks for, are you coachable? If you came to the NXT Development Center and we say, you know what, we don't need another wrestler, but we need another referee. Would you be willing to don the stripes and be the ref for us and work for the company full time? You'd be surprised. There's a lot of people saying no. Oh no, I don't want to do that. They're walking away from a golden opportunity. You got to be coachable. You got to be willing to do something different. Make yourself valuable in different variations of what you can be and who you can be for the wrestling promoters, but also for yourself. You know, are you Steve the commentator, but could you also be Steve the wrestling manager? Are you Steve the commentator, or could you be Steve the media PR man that if I send you out to do an interview, you go out there and you be the most professional guy that makes not only yourself look good, but you also make the company look good.
Absolutely.
That stuff is important. I hope if anybody's listening to this, if you're a wrestler, but you wanting to come work for me, or work for Rion, work for anybody that Red's connected with, or the Saints connected with, or even for you, Steve, I hope they listen to this and they'll take at least one thing from me on this. Outside of what I'm probably going to talk about in a few minutes from now. You've got to be versatile. You can't be a one-trick pony. Let's be honest. How many guys in wrestling has had a long career being a one-trick pony? Very few. If you've seen it once, it's done. Wrestling is like a magic show. You ever watch a great magician? Like a David Blaine, for example. David Blaine would do street magic before he does this big theater show. And he'll go out there and he'll hit up about 5 people and he'll do the same trick. There's 5 different people that haven't seen that trick before.
Right.
And he wows them. But he doesn't give them the entire show right then and there. He wows them and then all of a sudden, hey guys, want to check me out? I've got the theater over there. Tonight's my big show. Instantly, oh, I like that, yeah. And they go buy a ticket to go see them. They want to be entertained. Pro wrestlers have to do the same thing. If you go out there and you do exactly the same sequence, same moves every single night, and that fan is sitting in that seat and watch you every single night, by the 3rd time or the 4th time, they know exactly what's going to happen. And it bores them. You want to go out, well, I guess Satan must have left.
I'm sorry, John.
Get it, Lee. My camera's messing up.
Oh, okay.
I'm still there.
He's a man in darkness now.
He is a man in more ways than one, for sure.
Okay.
I'm actually gonna restart Zoom, so guys, give me like 1 second.
Sure.
All right, well, we'll be
But you know, you want to go out there and you want to give them enough to get them hooked and have the taste for it, but leave them hungry for more. You know, and that's how I always value pro wrestling. Is you give everything to the fan. What are they expecting you to come back? And you gave them everything you had. Go out there and give them small bits and pieces and lead up to that big fancy steak dinner at night that everybody's been craving for. Same thing with wrestling and fireworks show. You watch a good fireworks show. We all have. I think everybody likes fireworks. But you ever notice about a fireworks show, just like pro wrestling? Well, I know Red doesn't. I'm still a little PTSD with it myself. But you hear that first thing you see in a fireworks show is one big boom. But it's not all the fireworks. Is that one, and it grabs your attention. The next thing you hear is boom, boom. Oh, cool. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, that's 3. And all of a sudden you build up, and the grand finale is this huge show. And you're just sitting back going, wow, that's awesome. Well, why are we not doing that with pro wrestling? That's my question. Why are we not doing that?
Because some people aren't smart enough. And that's the sad part. Your analogy, as soon as you start talking about it, there's a comedian called from Chicago named Dion Cole. Was on Blackish and did everything. So if you know how Dion prepares, Dion has a whole notebook of jokes, and he'll go to a comedy club and he just talks to the audience and tries the jokes out. If they don't laugh at it, he scratches that joke off.
Right then and there.
Right. Then when you see his big show, it's the same jokes. He's amped them up. And in between, he might add a couple of new jokes. But the ones that he did in that small comedy club, when nobody knew was coming, he already knows this joke works. That joke is garbage. And workers or wrestlers don't do that. They think, I can do this. And let's be honest, we get tired, and I get tired of hearing it. Really, I do, let alone seeing it. If you've got 8 matches and 10 people in the matches, they look the same, they dress the same, and they have the same move sets. Yeah, that's fine for the first 2 matches, maybe. But when you get to the main event, and those 2 guys look like the same 2 guys that were in the first match and doing the same things, I'm bored. Why am I here? Like, everybody on the screen has seen it, where the crowd, when the show starts, they're like, yeah, all right, yeah. Main event comes and they're like, and the winner, okay, time to go home. Because they're burnt out, because they didn't seen everything. And again, flowers where flowers are due. The way you structure CCW is one of the best around.
Yeah.
Because as a fan, whatever goes on first, I know I won't see in the main event. It's total ends of the spectrum. There might be some similarities. Hey, okay, guess what? You might have 2 black guys in the beginning, and you might have 2 black guys at the end. Hey, okay, great, whatever. But guess what? The movesets are different. The personalities are different. The way they carry themselves are different. So guess what? It's 2 different matches. You can't say that about every company. A lot of companies are using cookie style cutters, and they're just putting out like, hey, here it is. And some companies now are stealing matches. And oh my God, that pisses me the fuck off. Because they don't think about a certain match till guess what? They put it on at another company, and here that match was hot as hell. Guess what? Now we gotta do it. We gotta do it. Like, nobody, you didn't think about that before, but now that you've seen footage, you were there in person. Now you want to take that company's idea and try to make it your own. But don't want me to say nothing about it. But here on my damn show, I fucking will.
He will.
But I'll be nice tonight, not call out that said company that did that. Out of respect for Steve.
What?
So there was a particular company that there was a match.
What? Didn't you say you wasn't going to call it?
Oh, okay.
He certainly narrowed down the parameters, didn't he?
Just ask him a question. A question.
Because you know I'll shoot.
Yeah, we know you'll shoot.
My adopted dad always told me best though, guys. Imitation is the greatest form of flattery. And he disappeared once again.
He's on
all
it. John, this is not the Damien Saint you remember. There was
a little different.
it's a little different. It's a little erratic, and the decision-making process has gone to the wayside. I apologize for that. We're all very excited about October 9th. It was a very, very welcome announcement that made a rough day that I was having a little bit better because we all look forward. I remember the 2 shows we did, each vastly different from one another, but both incredibly exciting. And we were just happy to be a part of it. And when it went away, I felt like I lost a piece. When you get something that you really like, something that you really want to get behind and you really want to support, and then it goes away for a little while, you miss it. And I think maybe that's why you're stepping away for a while has more benefits than maybe even you intended, because we all missed it. And now we're all very excited to have that moment again. Even with a restricted limit, the crowd was on fire. I can't even imagine what it's going to look like at capacity in Michigan City. I'm very excited to see that. We're just so happy that it's coming back and you're at the helm, and you've made 3 very generous match announcements tonight. And I appreciate you dropping that information on this show. It means a great deal to us, believe me. I want to take a sidestep for a moment. And, I want to talk about it because I think it's important. And I think people need to understand that, we only get one life, as we've been reminded lately. And when something happens, you need to try to get help or do something, because like I said, any one of us, we're all important in our own ways. And you made the post on social media earlier in the week about your heart condition that you have developed. I believe you referred to it as stage C failure. That is a very, very heavy situation. And I researched it a little bit. And it certainly sounds like it's something that can be treated, but anything that involves a heart, especially one that is as gigantic as yours, will cause everybody a moment of pause. So on behalf of the 3 of us, as I said, we are family. We are behind you. We will stand with you. If you fall, we will pick you up. So you are not going to go through this alone, not by a damn long shot. We've lost too many people already, and it ain't going to be you, not on my watch. Talk about a little bit how you caught it and what the game plan is, at least in this early. I mean, you don't have all the answers you need, but I just want to know that you're heading in the right direction.
Heading in the right direction. So during my little hiatus, we had a move to our new home. And of course, me being a stubborn guy, I didn't want to hire no movers. So I wanted to do stuff on myself, because this is how I was raised. And so I took up the luggage and the load, and started moving into our new home. And after weeks after we're fully moved in, I started realizing, I've always knew I kind of had like a heart defect growing up, but it got worse, and I started having difficulties breathing, difficulties. There was one morning I woke up, didn't know where I was at, it's scary. It's very scary. you go through the situation. So what was eye-opening to me was a gentleman who passed away. God rest his soul. His name was Jeff Greeno. He was a gear maker for a lot of guys. And from what I've gathered from most people, he was a hell of a nice guy, a really good person. Jeff was 34, and he died. Heart difficulties. He had 2 strokes on top of it. And it was just horrible. So it opened my eyes. I was like, I've been kind of dealing with something really strange. I don't know. I want to think what it is, but if I don't get this checked out, I don't want it to catch up on me. So I went to the hospital, and the first series of tests I went through, pacifying colors. My blood pressure was 122/80. I'm a 6'3", 280-pound guy. Not really considered, fat by no means. I'm just a big, husky, ox guy. Well, that looked good. Other physical tests went well, passed flying colors. I'm sitting there and wondering, like, well, what the hell's wrong with me? If all this is going on, I'm passing all these tests. Like, it doesn't make sense. Well, sure enough, my doctor scheduled me for what they call an echo test. And I highly recommend every man and woman get one. Don't care how old or how young you are, get that checked out. The echo test came back, and pretty much the left side of my valves is only working at a 30% capacity. The right side is regurgitating blood. So it's not good. So what I'm going through now, completely changed my entire lifestyle. I don't eat meat. I eat nothing but vegetables, vegetarian lifestyle. And trust me, I used to be a big T-bone steak, barbecue grill. You guys see my
I've seen the pictures, man. I wanted to come to your house for dinner several times.
My other passion in life outside of wrestling and music is cooking. I love to cook. So I literally scraped it. If I eat any form of meat whatsoever, it's really good grilled chicken. And that's where that is like the only protein I'll get. Everything else is salads, wheat bread, stuff like that. And just being smart with cutting back on fatty foods, things not healthy for your heart, and trying to eat heart healthy. And take a medication that will probably give me a fighting chance of what's going on. For people who don't understand what the different stages are, so just like cancer, where you have stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, and stage 4, it's the same thing with your heart. You have stage A, B, then you have C, and then you have D. D is the last thing anybody wants to hear. D is where you literally have to be a recipient of a heart transplant to have a chance to live. A defibrillator won't save you. Pacemaker won't do it either. And if you can't get a heart transplant, then we all know you die. It's a scary thing to go through. My uncle Daryl was 33 when he died of a heart attack, and he was only 175 pounds. Wasn't a big guy. Jogged, took good care of himself, very fit person. Dropped dead of a heart attack. Found out what I have isn't from eating bad foods or anything in general. It's a family genetic that runs in my mother's side of the family. So I have to treat it. I have to be careful with how I do things now on. I try to live, and I've always tried to live a very zen, very relaxed life, but it's definitely something now more than ever. I try not to get stressed out over stuff. I have to take it one day at a time. The way I look at life, every day I'm awake. Every day I could see my wife and my family, and I get to talk to, my sister that I just discovered this year, and my dad. And I get to talk to all of you guys who became a huge part of my life. That's a blessing. So yeah,
Take your time, man.
It takes a strong soul to be able to process something like this. Everybody, they always say everybody's got their share of difficulties, but not all difficulties are the same. Dealing with a physical ailment of this gravity requires the ultimate dedication to making the changes necessary to give yourself a puncher's chance. What I know and why I feel like you're a great leader is your stick-to-itiveness and your attention to detail. So I believe with all of my heart that if anybody is going to beat this, it's going to be you, for a couple of reasons. When a task is set before you, you always finish it. I have never known you to not finish and muscle through any situation despite the level of difficulty. And you're dealing with a heart, and yours, as I said earlier, is one of the biggest I know. And, you know, it's scary stuff. Anytime you're dealing with something like this, of this gravity, I have no point of reference for this. I can only surmise and base it on what I feel. We've had too much loss in 2022, and we're not losing another one. And I think I can speak for Red here. And all you have to do is call, right, Red? We're ready to go to Michigan City tonight, right?
Very, very true. John knows how much he means to me. See, there's few people that I know. When my shit hits the fan, it hits the fan, and John isn't one of those Facebook people where he'll just, you know, send a message, make a comment. John will pick up the phone. If I don't answer, he'll then text and say, give me a call back, and I will. There is no other like John Bullard. John has, I think the best word to sum it up, you said it earlier, Steve, was the man of integrity. John has never lied. John has never bullshitted. John has been honest the whole time I've known him. So John knows that standing behind him, he should know. There's an army of people.
An army.
And we got your back. And guess what? And this ain't even on no wrestling shit. If you decided in 5 minutes, that's it, you can't do it no more. Okay, oh well, and we still got your back. And that's just fact. John has shown himself to be one of those rare gems in this business we call wrestling. Where a lot of people are all about me, myself, and I. John is about we, us, and that's rare. That is rare. So, first of all, I applaud you for even letting the world in on what's going on, your personal health. But I'm gonna be honest, John, you made me a little nervous, man, because you're telling the story and I'm sitting there smoking. And I'm sitting here thinking, damn, I really need to quit. So if 3 weeks ago, Vito wasn't enough to have me start thinking, man, I need to stop. Okay.
What though, Red, the best thing I ever did, outside marrying my wife and going back into wrestling, and I actually have to give thanks to Rion over there for actually opening that door. Yeah, you may not want that, but you're going to get that thank you.
I can feel it.
But yeah, 2014, I laid down the drinking and the smoking altogether and walked away from it. And that was the best decision I ever made in my life. there was a time in my life, and on the side, I'm sorry if I got a little emotional about stuff. I don't ever actually really let my emotions get the best of me, but
Fine.
I'm publicly talking about this stuff. But it was to people who are worried about me. I appreciate it. I'm doing all the right things. I'm not fighting my doctors on anything. I'm getting second opinions in case if the first one sounds a little too doomy. I'll make sure, like, okay, there's a chance. This medication I'm on is going to give me a fighting chance, and I'm happy for it because modern medicine. Your scientists, your doctors, God bless them. They deserve all the praise for all the good things they do. So to me, I'm fighting the good fight. Daily, I go for about 2 to 3 mile walks, get my exercise in, dieting. This last 3 weeks alone, I've lost 10 pounds.
Nice.
By the time you guys see me in October, it won't be the big bear type of guy, but very slender bear type of guy. So, like an Appalachian black bear been starved on a picnic Sunday. So, you guys can thank my wife for that one.
My
She's
God,
like,
that's the visual right there and a half.
I'll
Wow.
be sitting there looking at something I'm like, man, that steak dinner would be good. My wife's like, yeah, well, here's your salad. It's like, shit.
Maybe we should just elect Corey
There you
president
go.
and just get it over with. I think maybe she's the only one that can fix things.
Yeah, she tries. I tell you what, guys, my wife is definitely a go-getter. That is for sure.
There's no doubt about that.
But yeah, let's go back to this October show. Let's
do
talk
it.
about good things. Good things. What the hell the things look gloomy and bad. I'm ready
No,
to
it's going to
live.
be a full capacity situation. It's not restricted at this point, right? Or do we still have to take precautions? I don't live in Michigan City, so I don't know.
But what I gather, everything's full capacity. So I say this: if everything is good, we're all safe and go to it. Anybody's watching us as a fan, if you haven't seen the show, show up. Guarantee you'll have a blast. The wrestlers are awesome. You're not going to see something that looks shindy and horrible. You're going to see guys that actually work hard at entertaining people. You're going to have something that doesn't come across the Chicagoland area a lot, and a Japanese wrestling talent coming to the States to actually visit us. That's a special occasion in itself. On top of it, nothing beats being in that studio audience type crowd and feeling that atmosphere. And you got the sections of fans that cheer for their guy, the other section cheers for the other guy, and it's the jousting. That first show was one of the loudest crowds I've ever dealt with. And guys, I promoted shows in front of people that were 1,400 in an auditorium, packed to the gills, and nothing compared to that crowd we had in October when we first began, and how rowdy they were and loud for every single match. I was like, holy crap! You could walk into a locker room and you could literally almost hear that crowd inside that locker room. It was like they were right there with the boys. It was incredible. I want that. If you've been to our shows, you're the supporters, the people who drive all the way from Chicago, Michigan, and other places that come to our shows every time we do it. Find somebody that has never been to our show. Let me know. Contact me. Hey, I have somebody. I'll even cut you a very special ticket price. Just to bring that extra somebody to come to the event that has never witnessed what we do. And I promise you, by the time they will leave with you, they'll ask, when's the next event? And luckily, we'll have the next poster or the next thing to hand out to those fans when they leave. Say, hey, come back and see us again. It's one of the things I enjoy the most when the fans come to the show. I love shaking people's hands and talking to them. It's important for me to actually get to know these folks that come to our events. Not only they're fans, but they become part of our family. They become part of what we do. It is the best wrestling crowd I've ever encountered since the days I ran BWF, and we had a die-hard, rabid fan base. But I love the fans that we have. I love that I made friendships with folks like Mr. Hansen, who came to the show with his daughter, and folks like, what do you say with DDJ, Dennis Day, one of the most
What do you
unbelievably
say?
awesome guys in the world. And the same thing with Brad Marcus, and there are so many other folks, Mr. Smith and his family, and all the great people I've encountered. I look forward to it. I love getting to know Chip Walker's family. And that was a huge group of people came to the show. And what I love about them, they don't leave after his match. They stay and they're rowdy for every single one of the boys and girls that
Sure
work.
were, boy.
Every single one. That's a wrestling family. That's a family that supports their son, but they cheer the hell out of the business. They love it. Give me those guys and girls every single day of the week. Those are fans that I enjoy. I want us to have fun. And I'm looking forward to October 9th to getting to see everybody again. This show is my love letter to the business. This is my way of saying thank you and to give back. So I'm so looking forward to this. There's other matches we have announcements for. I'm looking forward to it. Hell, I'll drop another one just for tonight.
Oh my God, we're getting a 4-pack.
I get a 4-pack.
Power Hour 4-pack.
So another match that I think people's been longing for and waiting for, and almost turned into pure violence at our last event, was Vic Capri versus Garrison Creed.
Oh my.
And on October 9th, the fans will finally get to see that match at Chicagoland. The Ice Pick, the Chicago legend, the guy that has been there, done that, and also has a book that he could probably write and give to everybody to be a bestseller. Versus the guy who's been traveling the countryside,
Operating locations worldwide.
People say OVW, but now we call him Mr. NWA. He's now wrestling on National Wrestling Alliance with our other guy who's been going to be here on October 9th, Marche Rocket, all day. But Vic versus Garrison, talk about a hoss fight. That's a battle. That's two dudes who don't back down, and they're very known for their violence. It's another great, very physical contest. And another thing about them, they're technically gifted in the ring as well. So the fans could literally get a mix of A and B. You want to see some violence, want to see some technical wrestling? We're going to deliver it with that match.
For those of you just joining now, Paragon versus Urimura. And if that's not enough for you, Shaq Jordan versus Miles Mercer with C-Red for the C3 championship. And if that's not enough for you, JPL, Jackson P. Larkin, the man with a concrete fist, taking on the UHC champion, the Ewok. And then, just revealed by John Bullard, the Ice Pick, Vic Capri, a living legend, versus one of the hottest stars right now, operating locations worldwide, the mercenary, Garrison Creed. 4 matches that could be main events anywhere on this globe are 4 matches you will see at one show. That one show is October 9th. That one show is Chicagoland Championship Wrestling Sunday Showdown. If you haven't got your tickets, you better get your tickets. We may be able to pack that place, but if you don't get your tickets, they're going to go. We sold out every damn time. We had people
every
crying.
time.
We had people crying that they couldn't get there because we were sold out. Don't
Every
cry.
time.
Can't cry if you get your ticket. Buy them.
But damn. Damn, John.
That's a 4-pack.
Damn.
That's like getting that's like being gifted a 4-pack of Broken Skull American Lager, which I would really enjoy.
Dude. 4 matches, right? Everybody on here agrees. 4 matches, right?
Damien, count with us. 1, 2, 3.
Shut your mouth, Steve.
4 matches, and I would take, what is this? This is June. I dare any promoter to put 8 matches against these 4 matches. I dare you. I double dog dare you.
Are you going to do it? Are you going for it?
Hold on. There it is. Knock it off. I dare you.
If that was a Duracell, I'd be pretty excited right now. You start calling him Robert Conrad.
Damn.
So
You
I know you have some more questions, so I'm ready to give you as much answers as you want.
Okay, so we know the return is happening October 9th. We've got 4 matches down. You've got a few months to put together the rest of the card, which I'm sure you already have. I can't wait to see it as you reveal it.
Yeah.
I want to know a little bit about this mysterious entity that we have seen a few scattered, haunting, chilling promotional videos for, very unsettling. Everybody that I have talked to about it says it's very unsettling. What do you know about this thing?
Nothing.
Not to interrupt you guys really quickly. I'm actually going to step away from the computer to go get a quick refill. So I will be back.
All right.
Ventriloquist? Damien Saint is a puppet, and he's got somebody pulling his strings, I think. Did
That's
you
gonna
see
be
that?
amazing when he watches this back. That's gonna
It's
be
fucking, excuse me, Steve. What the fuck was that?
oh, he did it again.
He did it again.
He did it again. Just go away. Just go away.
Look at that.
Oh,
You've never
to
seen
answer,
that.
to answer your question, Steve,
Yes.
I know nothing about it. I wish I did, because that has creeped me out too. I wish I could. Here's the thing: if you know it's a Chicagoland video, we always put our logos on anything that we do for our advertising. Oh,
Yes, that's true.
Have you noticed something about that video? Any other videos that's been given to us? There is no logo from us.
So somebody hacked your account or something to get that
Twice.
video.
Twice over we have been hacked.
I wonder if it's the same people that tried to take out me in red. I mean, there seems to be a congruity there of somebody working below the shadows in the dark, and we all are. When you get right down to the core, we're all a little bit afraid of the dark.
But whatever this person, whatever it is, it's eerie. I admit it's like when you saw that first video. I know you definitely saw it. You know, you hear the music and it's from the 1940s. You know, and you're like, oh, okay. And
I
then-
honestly thought it was you doing something new musically when I saw it. I'm like, oh, what's John up to now?
No, but then you saw the screen that start doing all that flashing, and all of a sudden it's like, and you hear that humming noise, and it's like, oh my god, like, what the hell is this? You know, and you keep hearing like the voices and people saying, let them guide you. You know, like, who
And guide us where?
is this the most eeriest thing I've encountered recently? And I had to put up just getting hacked on our main account. At first I was thinking like, okay, you know, maybe it's someone from like a foreign country hacking in. We get that a lot, unfortunately, with any company. You know, you'll get someone from, you know, I want to say China, for example, or Russia, or some country that has been known for going into people's systems, but it wasn't from there. You know, one of the locations was out in Las Vegas. The other time it was hacked, it was over in Oregon. So instantly I was like, well, I don't know anybody from that neck of the woods. Only have one or two good friends in Las Vegas. They certainly would have done this. So yeah, it's been creepy.
Amazing. And you know, something that did have the CCW logo. Now, listen, I had a lot of time to watch these things when I was imprisoned by Mark Zuckerberg. I saw the Shogun promotional piece, and I was blown away by it. And you know, I'm blessed to work with Xavier in a few places, and sometimes you just forget how good that kid is at shooting video. And then you see that highlight package with all the past highlights, and it's just amazing. It amazes me.
Yeah, he did the video recording. I actually was the one who created that video. I did all the editing.
Wow.
good stuff.
During the last, well, ever since COVID was in 2020, I started teaching myself filmmaking and also video editing. So yeah, I will always. I hope he watches this. Xavier Camacho deserves so much praise for what he does for wrestling in general, not just for us at Chicagoland, but all the other companies he does his work for. He's, my opinion, there's him and there's Derek from CSW that really work their tails off at getting people good videos, and everything looks real professional. You don't have like the shaky camera, it's very steady. You know, they understand the importance of telling a story through footage and angles. And to me, both guys are tremendous.
And
And so,
Xavier
yeah.
has branched out and he does audio now because he runs our commentary at CSW now, along with shooting video. So he's a one-stop shop when it comes to production. And at CSW, our videos there, the sound is really pretty impressive for on the fly sometimes, the way it is. He does really good work getting everything set up, and the film quality is just, I mean, you knew it the first time I sat and watched it when Roth and I were doing commentary over those matches, and you could tell you'd never seen anything like this before. Just the way it was shot, and it just made, and it blew people away. I remember all the people in England, all the Johners people, just absolutely blown away. And there's still people now that are coming across it on Prime Video. And there was a post, I saw a post, a friend of Joey Ross was watching us on a Saturday morning, you know, and put it on Facebook that we were out there. And, you know, I had people messaging me, where do I go? Prime Video. I mean, we were on Powered 4 TV, but I have heard recently they've gone away.
They're starting to July.
Yeah, they shut down now. But, you know, we're still out there, and, you know, I imagine we're still going to be out there. And, you know, that's half of what makes CCW so amazing is there's nothing like it live, but if you can't get there, and when you get to see the video footage, it's immaculate. It's like you're there. It's like you're right there. And that's the beauty of Xavier.
Here's also the thing that's kind of cool about what we have done with this company is that CCW is seen in over 65 countries. Think about that. Sit back and just think about that for just about 5 seconds. You're in Midwest USA. It was what they wanted about Mission City, you know, small town America. But small town America with a great group of guys, they're all mostly all from the Midwest, are getting a chance to be seen in 65 countries. That's to me as a kid going back, if someone told me, like, you know, when I was a little boy growing up being a wrestling fan, going to high school, about to break into the business, and someone said, you know, one day you're going to create something that's seen by almost the majority of the world, I wouldn't believe it. I'd be like, yeah, whatever. You know, like that's cool, but whatever. And you know, when you look at the range that Fight TV gets, Amazon Prime gets, Powered 4, you know, and we're also on High Spots Wrestling Network.
Spots, yeah.
High Spots definitely deserves a lot of praise. It's one of the original superstores of pro wrestling, and they got a huge fan base that is on their network. So we're seeing, and there's other networks that have to reach out to and put us on further to the point where instead of saying, hey, we're on Amazon Prime, say we're on all these platforms, and down below have it pop up where you can see it, and it's like, oh, okay.
That goes back to your earlier point about listening, being coachable, and learning. So when we get behind that mic in October, we're going to have a lot more insight into what's good and what's not good.
Oh yeah, and I have to say this: you have done a great job, Steve. You know, you do listen. You do want to be the best Midwest, you know, commentator going, probably one of the best wrestling commentators going. And I think you're definitely are turning into that guy. You know, when you started working for me, did you ever think that after that you'll have all these other companies ask you to be their voice?
I'll tell you this, John. I was done being a commentator. I wasn't doing it anymore. You brought me back in. You put me back behind that microphone. So without you, wouldn't have half the jobs that I have. So it was being a part of Chicagoland Championship Wrestling that got my voice out there and got me to work quite a few places I never expected to work.
But I'm grateful I've been the guy to help open up that door for you, Steve. But this is where I was telling you before we started the show. You know, it's always good to be humble. I try to be humble as possible with everybody. But I opened that door for you, but you ran through that door with that opportunity. And other people paid attention to what you were doing. You got yourself in a lot of places on your own merit. Did I help? Maybe, sure. And then that's great. But you put in the work.
And we're gonna
Yeah, John, but
There we go.
see, John, this is where we disagree, John.
oh boy.
John, I'm gonna disagree. And I'm gonna tell you why I disagree.
All right.
Why is this all
John, you can sell honey to a honeybee. There are not too many people. Again, you know, we've been in this business a long time.
Yeah.
So I've heard all kind of pitches, right? And that day you stood in the IPW locker room and you told me everything you had planned out. Part of that was in the back of my head. Like, how many times have we heard this before?
Oh yeah. Hey, even for myself as a former performer, I've heard guys say it's the next big thing. You're like,
But one,
okay.
that's not, never did you say that.
no, never did.
But
Never wanted.
two, the way you described it, the way you delivered it, and what you have delivered on makes you who you are. That's why everybody here has respect for you.
100%.
Because you didn't sell us a bunch of bullshit.
Nope.
No.
So I know personally, so now I have to take the red out of it.
Is that possible?
I know personally Steve was thinking about walking away. And when you brought that offer up, and Steve, we talked. And I think at that time we were still at that building.
We were.
And before we went in the building, Steve said, hey, John Bullard contacted me and wants me to do this. And I'm like, okay, what's the problem? Like, I didn't shortchange it. I'm like, if John said it, it's gonna happen. So don't sell your short. You know, you told him earlier, don't sell himself short. Don't sell yourself short, because I can't speak for Rion, and I won't.
He's playing Switch.
Good job. Good job.
Except for when it comes to other things.
CCW championships.
No, Prometheus Hopper.
That's a whole nother conversation.
I can speak for Steve.
And you usually do.
We are part of this family because you brought us in, but you made it the family it is.
Yes.
And it goes back to what we talked to, or you talked about earlier, and Steve asked about, is putting together the perfect locker room. And is it perfect? Some people's eyes it's not. In our eyes it is. But it's the way you handled it, the way you went and scouted talent before, 2 years before you even put it out to the world. So you knew who and what you wanted in your company. So we wouldn't be here tonight if it wasn't for John Bullard. So again, I have to disagree, Steve. Yeah, Steve might have went through the door running sideways.
It's always a fat joke.
Always. I gotta throw one in. And here's the funny part.
I was ready this time. I was ready. See, even when we doing this, I was ready.
To health, to happiness, and to John Bullard.
There we go. That's why I did it. So yeah, John, don't ever sell yourself short. You lit a fire even under this old soul. So I mean, you know,
you are, to pull back the curtain just for a few seconds, you are a major contributor to what we do. You are a locker room mentor. You help agent a lot of the stuff that goes on behind the scenes.
I saw it. It's true.
Almost every one of those guys I talk to looks up to you. I couldn't ask for a better person to be.
Even me.
part of the office. That's part of this, and including yourself too, Steve, because you always have my back. Anytime something was going on or something's being said, you always let me know, hey, this is the word on the street. And I know, like, okay, well, let's find out what's that words on the street is. And
Michael Allen, of course. When you
Michael
talk
Allen
about guys in the
deserves a lot of
office.
praise. I don't know how many hours me and that man will set together, and we'll put the show together, we'll format it, and we'll stay up bum freak in the morning drinking coffee and just discussing life and the show. Michael Allen is one of the most hidden gems.
He's a hell of a commentator too. I had a chance to do a little commentary with him. He's really good.
He's great. I know the thing is, I actually, no offense to Joey Roth, I love Joey. But I asked Mike one day, I said, in case today Joey wants to be a manager again, or just, I said, do you actually want to be a commentator? And he's so shy about it. He's like, well, yeah, I'm an interview guy. I'm like, dude, you got that Mike Tenay thing going on. Like, you know the moves, you understand everyone's wrestling backstory, you study people's history. I was like, you're a perfect commentator. I'm like,
I would share a commentary booth with him any day of the week, twice on Sunday, and sometimes I do.
Yeah. I don't know how much minutes we got left in the show, guys, but honestly, there's something I was telling you, Steve, about this, that I feel like you want to know. I want to give everybody their flowers.
Drop it.
You name a name, and I'll tell you exactly why I booked them. And I'll tell you the exact reason why.
All right, let's see. Let's go back. Once upon a time in October, there was the first match ever between Miles Mercer, who we've already talked about, and we all know how we feel about Miles. But he had a opponent, the shooterweight.
Yeah.
So I'm going to throw the shooterweight Yo-Ya, who after his debut at CCW went on to do incredible things and is still doing incredible things. Sky's the limit for Yo-Ya.
I always consider Yo-Ya like my adopted son. Me and my wife always say that to everybody. We're like, that's our adopted kid. I'll tell you a funny backstory about that. When he was staying with us for the first show,
I remember that.
Yeah, we took him everywhere to go shopping, go get a bite to eat, whatever, because he was staying with us. And everyone who knew me and my wife, they're like, because he's a tiny kid, like you can't help but look at Yo-Yo and you don't think he's in his 20s, you think like he's like younger than that. And everyone's looking at me and my wife like, oh my God, you adopted a little Asian child. and me and my wife are like, oh my God, this is so embarrassing. And Yo-Yo is so quiet. He's like, I know, like, maybe, like, okay. And after a while, he got used to it. He's like, yeah, I'm theirs, It was just funny as hell. So our running gag with him is like, oh, it's our adopted son, Proud of him. When he first came to me, he was traveling 12, 14 hours one way to get a booking. And he earned everything he's got. That's a road warrior. That's a kid who had heart. And something that I wish a lot more guys would have. He was also another one, was kind of the hidden gem. In the state of Florida, almost not many people were booking him. So he would go to Wrestle League, he would go to other places, and usually he'd be, seen here and there, but never given a chance to be really showcased. Well, I've always told Miles when we first met at IPW, very first day I met him, I instantly took a glow to him. I was like, there's something about Miles. He makes the whole room a better place. And I told Miles, and I gave him my word. And I said, if I ever start a company, I want you to be the opening match. And there's a reason why him and Yo-Yo was the opening match. Both of them have such a bright future ahead of them. I want the world to see them first. And so him and Yo-Yo set the tone for what Chicagoland Championship Wrestling is about. A lot of strikes, wrestling, storytelling, him and Miles deliver. Yo-Yo has so much going for him. I'm proud of him. I hope we can bring him back for more shows if I can. I'm proud of him.
What an opening match it was. I mean,
as a wrestling papa, I can't help but look at him and go, that's my boy.
Whenever I go back and watch Grapple Masters, I always gravitate toward that match because I remember it because it was brand new. It was so fresh. And I just was so happy to be there. And I was so excited to be doing commentary at that moment that every time I watch it, I remember how I felt. And it was such a great match. And then it led to Janai Kai coming and kicking Red in the face, which is another one of my great memories that I enjoy. And I sometimes
But who pinned who, Steve?
Oh, we don't. It's not about
okay.
losses,
Okay.
Chris.
Oh, it's not about that, right? Oh,
It's about you getting kicked in the head.
oh no. He said give roses. See, there you
Oh,
are
okay,
with
we're gonna give him-
thorns.
All right, well then, Red, you give him another person to give some roses to.
You know what? The person I'm more intrigued about when it comes to John Bullard, I really want to know about my other nephew, Paragon, because here's why. Paragon was virtually only known where he worked.
Yeah.
And now Paragon is every damn place.
Everywhere.
I think he's got 3 states left on his map.
I think he's got 5 titles. I think he's holding 4 or 5 championships right now.
I think he is.
From
So
different states.
what did you see that, you know,
So how me and
outside of his personality?
first time I ever encountered him, he messaged the company page about work. Now let's be honest, most guys in wrestling, they're like, hey, I want to book it. So many guys don't even like hit you up like anything professional. You know, they're like, hey bro, I want to book it. Him, it was this entire professional display. He had like this brochure of why you should book him. And if I can find it, I'll show you guys. But it was so professional. It was like who he was trained by. It was his whole resume, but it was only brochure style. And I was just blown away by his professionalism. First and foremost, his presentation was amazing too, because the guy looks unlike anyone else. He has his gear is always the most poppin' gear you'll ever see of anyone walk out of the locker room. He's the sharpest dressed guy in wrestling. I mean, let's be honest. You gotta admit though, man, his drip game is top notch. You know, he can talk all day long, man. He can talk all day long and cut a promo on anybody. He'll call me sometimes, we'll even play this game. I was like, all right, I'll name a name. And he already has a promo ready for him. And he'll cut it. I'm like, damn. Okay, what about someone's, oh, boom. And it's never the same promo. It's never the same jab or put down or one liner. He's so creative. He's so ahead of the curve for a lot of guys. He was trained by Truth Martini, whose track record alone speaks for itself. Of who came out of that freaking academy. And you look at him, he's only been wrestling about 4 years now, I believe. But his 4 years, he already wrestles now like a 12-year veteran. He's got the mentality of a veteran. He doesn't look at it as a young guy of, oh, I want to go out there and steal the show and do a million flips. He always says the best. I want to go out there and have the best story. I want to go out there and have the best intimacy with the crowd where the fans want to come back and see this again. He's so creative. When you're a booker, it's always okay to have someone on your roster like, okay, I want you to do this. All right, and they go do it. But you have a guy like him, it's like, what would you want to do? What would you like to do? And you see the creativity open up, and all of a sudden it's like, well, here's all these ideas I had. And all of a sudden you could dissect the ideas and you put 1 or 2 together, and it's like, let's go with it. He's that creative of a guy. And let's be honest, very first show I met him, blew me away. The way he got on the microphone, he riled up that crowd for no coats. Right then and there, I was like, if someone's not booking this guy, they're done. And he's professional. He shows up on time. He'll help out. But it's the way he carries himself. You can put a title belt on him and feel comfortable with him being champion because you know he's going to represent you to the best of his ability. That's why I promote Paragon. That's why I believe in Paragon as a talent.
You know, Paragon, it took him putting me in a trunk to make me realize just how spectacular he is. And that match that he's got coming up in October, I will have the correct pronunciations. I will have everything to the nines because there's no way in hell I'm going to irritate Drip Flair ever again. I learned my lesson. Like John Bullard says, I listened and I will improve. Paragon is not to be trifled with. And that match versus Uemura is it's been a while since I've looked forward to a match like I'm looking forward to this one. I really feel like this is going to be a match that people are going to talk about for a long, long time. And, you're going to have to get tickets to October 9th, Michigan City, CCW, the return Sunday showcase. It's going to be electric, but you got to get a ticket because you can watch it later, but why not watch it live while it's happening so you can be a part of it? You'll be on TV, for God's sake. You'll be part of the family. Come out and see it. I'm telling you, drive an hour, drive 5 hours. It doesn't matter. It's going to be great. It's in the afternoon. You'll still get home in time to get all the rest you need to go to work the next day, have dinner with the fam, whatever. There are no excuses not
The
to go.
Chicago Bears will lose.
Tom Brady will play on 2 different teams in one game, I believe. He'll take the Concord like Phil Collins did at Nebworth, but that's neither here nor there. You guys don't remember that, but that's okay. I do.
I do.
So what else names you guys have? Come at me.
Let's see. We'll do one more and then we'll wrap this package. Rion, do you have anybody you want to throw John Bullard's way as far as the CCW roster? I know you have a good working knowledge of things. Could it be Jay Cross? Could it be Zeke Kickham? Could it be the Chicago Bear Hug? Could it be John Hudson and the Chicago Connection? I know PL Myers wanted me to mention the Chicago Connection tonight to John because he said John is the #1 fan of the Chicago Connection. So hello, Mr. Myers. It's good to see you.
Paul must be paying you a lot of money to say this.
Right.
Dance with the date that brung you. Number 2, 3, if anybody's asking.
Nobody's asking.
Nobody ever asks. It's okay. Go ahead, Rion. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure.
Right. I wasn't sure.
Unless it's Sean Danger, because I don't want Red to have a reaction.
I know.
Look at those eyes. It's the red, crazy eyes. You know when he's about to go off.
Alvin Gray, Muncie James, Nick Diamond, Jay Thunder.
Are you throwing them?
Yep.
Are you
throwing them all as well?
You're throwing them all at John Bullard?
All at Bullard. All of them. All of them. Just throwing them.
Okay, so you threw I know Muggsy James. Muggsy has a hell of up rise to him. I think he's going to be great. Give him about another year. He's going to be something special. Muggs.
Every time I see him,
there's something about Muggs. I can't help it. He's like a Rocky story almost. He's just that blue collar kid that just don't give up. I like Muggs. Nick Diamond has a bright future ahead of him.
Undeniable.
And I told this to Nick straight up. So anybody wants to get angry at me, go ahead. I'm a big guy. I ain't worried about nothing.
Not as old as you used to be.
I told Nick though, I said, if you're going to be great, get away from the group of guys you run with. Get in cars of veterans, travel the road, pick brains of everybody who's ever been successful, and you're going to be something special. He automatically understands working the crowd. He understands a little dance. I don't have to go out there and do 5,000 dance. He's got something. A lot of people like to call him like Witch.com Shawn Michaels. I disagree. He'll find himself. He's still a young baby kid out there in this world full of grown men. He'll find himself who he needs to be. And it's going to be something great. You mentioned, who was the other guys on your list?
Alvin Gray.
You know, the thing is, I haven't really been around Alvin personally. I get along with Alvin. He's got a lot of heart, works hard, from I've seen in the ring. He'll do whatever is asked of him. You know, really great guy from my encounters with him. He's overcame his demons. I know a lot of people were crucifying him the last 2-3 years and stuff. But dude, he's doing the sobriety life. He's worked hard. You know, give him a chance. Remember, and I'll say this, Damien said here, every sinner has a future, every saint has a past. You know.
And every Satan will get his comeuppance. But that's neither here nor there.
Who was the other guy on your list?
I mean, I have many. I'll just throw another.
Could you
one.
please not read that? We're about to be the 2-hour power hour
You
tonight.
asked me questions.
I did ask you
I'm
questions.
giving you answers.
That's
I
true.
can continue. I could do this for a while.
All
This
right,
is a matter
all right,
of how- yeah.
Give him one more.
I'll give him one.
Give him one more.
Okay. I'll go with Turtle Bremen. I'll go with that.
Turtle?
Yeah.
The referee, Turtle?
The free turtle.
He's versatile. You know, here's a guy that could ref. He's a good, solid referee. He was trained properly when it comes to his knowledge, what he does. I haven't had a chance to watch him wrestle, I'll be honest. But I know as a referee, he's really good. I know
Very good.
there's a few people that vouches for him. I know Tom Heisman talked highly of him. I know if Tom Heisman says you're good at something, you're solid. You're solid because Tom doesn't like to blow smoke up anyone's ass.
I'm still
Tom's too
trying to
straight
like me.
shooting. But yeah, no, I like Turtle. You know, he's into our shows and stuff, and I've always tried to be, talkative and friendly with him. I think he was kind of shy towards me the first time I said hello to him.
Been like
Hold
that
on.
as long as I know.
I'm like, don't be shy towards me, man. I'm like, if I'm saying hello to you, shoot the smoke with me. I don't care.
He has always been there.
You wouldn't expect the primetime pimp to be shy, would you?
Even when he was my ref at PCW, that's just what he was. No matter what was going, that's just how he was. So he still is, I should say. Yeah. We good?
We're good. John Bullard, you have taken us to the magic 2 hours.
I did
And
not mean to, guys, but honestly, this has been good therapy for me. I haven't seen you guys close enough face to face I've had in a long time, and I needed this today. Really have.
I am so happy.
Thank you, guys.
I am so happy that you were able to come on tonight, and despite all you're going through right now. And as we get a little closer to October 9th, we're going to ask you to come back so we can talk more about it, and we'll promote the hell out of this thing, and we're going to pack that Michigan City place like it's never been packed before in its life. We're gonna not burn it down, because that got me busted on Facebook, but we're going to make a ruckus in Michigan.
There we go.
How about that? We'll make a ruckus.
Make a ruckus.
What was the last time you made a ruckus and Damien Satan wasn't involved?
What does that mean?
I don't know what that means. John Bullard, you have been enjoyed. CCW returns October 9th to Michigan City. It's going to be the return Sunday showcase. I can't wait to be a part of it. I can't wait to see my friend John again, and it's been too damn long.
Look forward to seeing all you guys there. And Brad, and Rion, and Steve, thank you for being you. You guys are awesome, and honestly, I can't think of a better way to spend a Tuesday night talking to with Damien also in the room when he's there. Where the hell he went, I have no idea.
He's a little erratic these
He
days.
just left.
We've got some kind of anime.
No, he's still there.
It's
there.
some
Oh,
anime.
no. Don't turn it off now. Don't turn it off now.
He's got anime.
But in all seriousness, though, I couldn't ask for a better group of guys to share a good conversation with. Also, probably a heartfelt one where, man, I was like, don't shed a tear. Don't shed it. You got this. So, no, thank you guys for everything you do.
And I think you're discussing a lot of things tonight will help people in very productive ways. And if we can all help somebody, we're doing things the right way. And I think that's important, especially in this day and age, 2022. John Bullard, you're a class act. I have said that since day one. Your integrity is unparalleled, and we appreciate you taking time to talk Chicago Land Championship Wrestling with us tonight.
I appreciate you guys.
John Bullard, one of our favorite guests, and we'll look forward to having him back. Now, before I cut this off, I got something to say to C Red. Now, Red, the last time we were on this show, and Powell walked away with all the CSW gold, you were a little bit of you were mean. You were not very nice.
Your point?
My point is, Powell is a little less golden this day because Max Holiday took the POW championship off of Scott Spade and brought it home to Shabazz. And I think you remember when we had Xavier DeFaust interrupt our show a few weeks ago, and we talked about them pile driving Sandy through a table, right? And I was outraged.
But didn't I tell you there's
Sorry.
a plan?
It was a little swerve. It was
But Steve, you were mad.
No, I was acting.
I wasn't mad.
I was acting.
I wasn't mad because again, I kind of believe in the cartel. So
We got we got Jimmy Blaze on the road to retirement after he and Freedom lost those straps. So POW Entertainment, little less golden as we head into June 8th.
But they still work for POW though. So why are you so happy?
They're the official tag team of the Power Hour now. BH?
No, the official tag team is the ARC.
I don't know what that means.
I can't.
Always really creepy, but that's neither here nor there.
Well, don't worry about it.
We are done. Congratulations.
You never.
What?
And congratulations. What are you congratulating me on?
Congratulations to Max Holiday, new POW champion.
No, there's something you should be congratulating.
Oh, yeah, that's it. Hey, John, you'll love this too. C-Red and the Soul Touches, Marche Rocket, Trauma, Acid Jazz, and Willie the Bomb Richardson will be inducted into the the Pro Wrestling Reunion.
Midwest
Reunion. And it's in
Hall of
July.
Fame.
The date is what's our date? It's July what?
17th.
July 17th. It's a Sunday afternoon in Lake Zurich. I'm going to be there because I am not going to miss this opportunity. If anybody wants to come with me, I'll come pick you up.
I'm going to go.
You want to go? I'll come get you.
You don't have to come get me, but I'm going to go.
I want to see that induction because I feel like the Soul Touches never got the due they deserved. And now, finally, the people that run that situation are giving some much needed accolade to a group that has influenced me in a great many ways, both personally and professionally. So I wouldn't miss this for all the tea in China. It's going to be you can give me all. I'm not take your tea back to China because it's probably got Wuhan in it, but that's neither here nor there. You got to come to this thing. You got to give C-Red his props. C-Red has worked an awfully long time and has gone unappreciated entirely too long. And this is going to make that right. So I look forward to this situation. You know, I might even shake a few hands there. Plus we got other things happening there along with the Soul Touches. Heather Reckless, CSW Women's Champion, is Female Wrestler of the Year. Joe Alonzo, one of the most controversial promo touting wrestlers out there, the male superstar of the year. Brothers of Funstruction, Tag Team of the Year. So there's a lot of influence happening.
Don't forget the twins.
We got Riccolo. He's going to be he's the ring announcer of the year.
Yeah,
and
but
all my best stuff I learned from Riccolo.
The one that I'm happy about is Ed Sharkey.
Yes,
a lot of people are.
When people need to Google who Ed Sharkey is, and they will find out how many legends he put into this business. It will be my honor that day to stand up with him and shake his hand. Because if it wasn't for, I'm going to be honest, if it was not for Ed Sharkey, I probably never would even thought about this business.
Oh, wow.
But it's because of one team that he put out that when their music hit and they smashed everybody, and they were built from Chicago, even though we know they weren't, it made me say, damn, what is this thing called wrestling?
All right.
And then when you follow all the other names that came after them, that Ed Sharkey was like a legend maker. Like he was like, okay, you go, now you go. And 9 times out of 10, he knew what he was talking about. So that is the person I am most honored to be inducted with. Not just my brothers, but him, because he is a true legend, not just in the Midwest, but in this business period. And like you say, John said earlier, give flowers while they're here.
Absolutely. Couldn't stress that enough. It's going to be a hell of an event in Lake Zurich on July 17th. Get out there, show your support, pay tribute to the people that have bridged the gap from then until now, that have made this business as great as it is and continue to keep this business at a high level for the most part, which is tricky business in 2022, as we have seen. That's it. The Power Hour is now over. John Bullard, I wish you well. I wish you health. I wish you strength. I wish you love. And we look forward to seeing you again. We especially
Peace and soul.
we look forward to working with you on October 9th. Next week on this program,
You better be here.
I'll be here.
I got his notes.
I
got
can't
all his notes
not be
from
here
just in
when
case.
our guest is JPH. If there's one man other than Damien Satan that has a lot to answer for, it is JPH. So Damien Satan had nothing to say tonight as per usual, so we will continue to wonder why. JPH will be on the hot seat next week. John Bullard gave us 2 hours of magic, and we are blessed. Thank you, John. You're the best, and we will see you soon. On behalf of the Real Deal Rion Skills and the legendary urban sensation C-Red, I am Steve, and we will catch you next Tuesday night on C-Red's Power Hour featuring Steve and 7K Rion Vision. Say that 10 times fast. Good night, everybody. Thanks.
Funny part.
We'll catch you, as they say, on the flip side. Good night.